You will die in this place.
What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And what does this woman mean that Damon will die in this place? And how does she know that? Who is this woman? I'm going to explain all that to you in this video. But before I can get into everything, I'm going to have to take you back into time to explain these events that are going on today. If that sounds good to you, do me a favor, like the video and spread it across the realm, and subscribe to the channel if you want more theories like this. Alys Rivers, also known by some as the Witch Cream, was a bastard of House Strong. If you're a bastard born in the Riverlands, your secondary name becomes Rivers. Her father is supposedly Lionel Strong. Now in Harrenhal, she serves most of her function as a wet nurse, as we've seen in the show. But some people say that she's able to have prophetic visions and give predictions about the future, and that is why they call her a witch. But how does she get these visions? How is she able to see these things? I'm going to explain that right now. The children of the forest once ruled Westeros with the only other species that was intelligent on their land, the giants, and they feuded with the giants for years until the first men came across the armored Dorne and started to invade the land of Westeros. Now the first men took all the timber and took all of the weirwood trees that the children sect harbored all the memories and history of their people in their roots. The first men began to chop them down, so they went to war with the children. After a long time, they decided to make a pact. This pact was made in the God's Eye. The God's Eye is located right outside of Harrenhal, and in this God's Eye is where they carved all the faces of these weirwood trees, specifically so that their person that they call the last Green Seer could witness this signing of this pact. Now the title they gave this specific Green Seer, the last Green Seer, is very important because they gave him the word last. The definition of last is coming after all others in time or order, final. So no one can be this type of Green Seer after him. He is the last one. Now these Green Seers had magical powers. One of them was called the Green Sight. Stories have described the Green Seers seeing through the faces of the weirwoods, influencing animals and plant life, and possibly seeing past and future events. They also have the ability to skin change into other people and animals, and that is very important. So let's keep going. The doom of Valyria. Now, when the Targaryens were in Valyria, they were not a major strong family like we see on Game of Thrones. They were just one of many dragon riders. And it wasn't until Daenerys the Dreamer suddenly started having these visions saying that the doom was going to occur. And this is what led her family to go to Dragonstone. People did not believe Daenerys, and it shows that these visions were not common because they laughed at the Targaryens and called them fools for believing in them. If people believed in such things, or it happened all the time, then people would have probably took it more serious. But the fact that they didn't take it serious, one will have to believe that these didn't happen to Valyrians all the time, and Daenerys is an exception to the rule. The doom of Valyria then happens. The Targaryens are safe on Dragonstone and then become the major power because they are the only people who have living dragons left. It is said that all of the volcanoes erupted at the exact same time, and there was no evidence that this was going to happen at all. There was no rumbling or murmurs or anything, so everybody was caught off guard, and it wound up destroying all of them. Years later, we see Aegon Targaryen decide to conquer Westeros. But why does he do this? That has to bring us to Harrenhal itself. King Harrenhal's grandfather led the Ironborn to conquer the Riverlands. Previously, they were occupied by the Stormlands. The Ironborn did not care about the people who lived in this mainland, and their rule was called tyrannical and brutal. Now, to consolidate their hold on the Riverlands, Harren's grandfather commissioned the construction of a great fortress on the northern shore of the God's Eye Lake, in the very heart of this region. This would be the largest construction ever built in Westeros. It is said that if 1,000,000 men attacked Harrenhal, that 1,000,000 men would have been repelled by the sheer size of this place and how many people they can get it. This place took 3 generations for it to be built, and they used slave labor to build it. While they were doing this, they were going over to the God's Eye, cutting down weirwood trees so that they can use them for their beams and their rafters inside of this building. And it is said that as soon as Haran just finished construction of this place that he named after himself, Aegon the Conqueror and his 2 sisters' wives burned it to the ground, along with him and all of his men, killing his line out. So what truly happened here? Why did Aegon the Conqueror do this? Well, we talked about the Green Seer, the last Green Seer specifically, before this. So let's go back and explain the whole situation. If you skin change into a person while they are sleeping, you are able to give them prophetic visions. So therefore, I believe the last Green Seer skin changed into Daenerys the Dreamer, warning her of the doom of Valyria, to have the Targaryens leave to Dragonstone. Why would she do that? Because the children of the forest are the ones who caused the doom of Valyria with a spell called the Hammers of Water. It's the same spell they used to break the Arm of Dawn when the first men kept coming across, but they used it a little bit too late. That is why there was no predictions of this ever happening, because they did the spell and it just happened after that. The reason why they did that was because they knew by seeing the future that Harrenhal was going to be built, and it was going to take all their trees that they considered sacred and held the souls of their ancestors in it, and there'd be no way anybody in Westeros would be able to defeat this man once he had this Harrenhal constructed. But he didn't bet on one thing the children knew: Harren would not be safe from the aerial attack of dragons. And that's why they had those Targaryens go to Dragonstone, and it's not a coincidence that Aegon attacked on the exact same day Harren finished his construction, burning them down to the ground. So now, knowing that, let's go back to talk about Alys Rivers. I know that some people are trying to go around and say that Alys is Melisandre, which is ridiculous. We have a birth of this child. Everyone knows that she was born a bastard. This is not someone who just showed up out of nowhere and wound up there. There was an actual child who grew up, who was on record. So there's no way she could be Melisandre. Now, how could she get these green sites? Well, Harrenhal is stationed closely by the God's Eye. And if you look at Harrenhal itself, you can see in the show, they specifically show you weirwood trees outside of it. In fact, they show you Daemon standing by a weirwood tree when he gets the actual vision from Alys Rivers. So what's happening? The last Green Seer is sending her these visions, just like he did to Daenerys the Dreamer. That is why she is able to see these things, and that is why people call her a witch. If you look at Harrenhal, you can see running throughout Harrenhal, there are nothing but weirwood roots breaking through the bricks, like the weirwood trees are reclaiming the land that was stolen from them by Harren. That's my video about the Targaryens and the Children of the Forest, a theory I came up with over 7 years ago, but now that we have House of the Dragon, it seems to confirm some of it. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section. If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.